Previously, I showed you how to control an electric strike using a keypad. You can unlock it using a pin or a fob. Either way works fine. That's fine if you just want to control one door. What if you have 2 doors or 4 doors or 6 doors? It gets a little bit hairier because you want absolute control of who have access to which door. In this video, we're going to go over this Visionis control board. This model lets you control up to 2 doors. Alternatively, there's the Ubiquiti Unified Access Hub. This unit is way overpriced though, it seems, because one unit can only control 1 door. So if you need to control 2 doors, the price will be double. Here's the subtotal of all of the materials combined. It's about $1,300 for the Visionis system. Meanwhile, it's about $1,700 for the Unified Access system after taxes. When I give clients the options to choose, they always choose the Visionis system. Everything works perfectly as it should. The beauty of it is there's absolutely no monthly fees whatsoever. It is easily the best bang for the buck. Installation was relatively easy on the hardware side as well as the software side. Before we install the actual hardware, let's take a quick look at it first. Here's the mag lock directly from Visionis. The first thing you want to do is unscrew this screw right here to pop the cover off. Next up, there's 2 screws that you need to loosen out using the included Allen wrench. There's one here and one here. Then and only then can you unlock this screw right here in this hole and this hole. Here's another angle of it right here. This is the screw that you need to remove as well using the included Allen wrench, the same Allen wrench that you use with this screw. Here it is on the right hand side as well. The reason why we need to remove all these 4 screws is that we need to remove the plate right here to mount the plate onto the door frame. Since my door frame is a little bit different, that's why I'm using this other L bracket, not the straightaway bracket that was mounted on originally. And once you change the mounting bracket, then you can put all of the 4 screws back in. In this angle, we're looking at the voltage jumper. This whole access control panel works via 12 volt. And by default, the mag lock works on 12 volt as well. So leave the jumpers as is. So this nail salon automatically opens at 9 AM as well as automatically close at 5 PM. But you know, sometimes after 5 PM, customers still want to do their nails. So that's why the secretary have this remote controller override the timing mechanism of the mag lock. What does that mean? Say 7 PM, if a customer still wants to enter, the secretary can press this button or this button to unlock the mag lock. This is the wireless receiver right here, and this, we're going to connect it to the control panel as well. Honestly, you really don't need to remove this cover box to change the jumper settings, but if you ever want to do it, press on this side right here, and on this side right here, there's the same indentation for you to press. Squeeze and lift this cover straight up. Within, you'll see these jumpers. They work perfectly fine by default. As you can see, there's the 12 volt, and here's the toggle jumper. We're going to leave it as is. Taking a close look at the receiver, you can see here, this is the ground. The red is for 12 volts. The white is for normally closed. Yellow is calm. Blue is normal open. And it repeats again. What does all of that mean? This receiver can control up to 2 doors. And this transmitter has 2 buttons. One to control the front door, the mag lock, or the back door to control the electric strike. For all intent and purposes, we're going to make it really simple. Either of these buttons, when the secretary presses this button or this button right here, is going to release the mag lock for the customer to enter in. So later on, you'll see that this blue will be connected to this blue to the same pin on the control panel. Yellow and yellow will be connected together to ground. Red will go to the V plus and black will go to the V minus on the control panel. Now before we actually do any of the wiring, I highly recommend just taking one of these blocks and then pulling it out, because from here to here, the spacing is extremely small. Very cumbersome to run wires into this block and then screw it down. You might as well take the whole block out and then do it that way. Now let's take a look at the devices in real life. This is the electric strike, surface mounted. I don't know why it's $300, but it is $300. I don't know why the door version, the smaller version, is only like about 50 bucks. There is a jumper wire. You can use this for 24 volts or 12 volts, but here you can see we're using 12 volts. The electric strike goes into the NO. Here's the mag lock, the wire. The black goes to ground. And the red goes to NC, normally close. So it really doesn't matter for the black wires on the Mac block or the black wire of the electric strike to go into any ground. All of the wires are interconnected with each other. I verified this using a multimeter connectivity test. On the left hand side, you got the fob reader. There's two of them. It goes into this right hand side of the panel. You only need 4 wires. You don't need to use the yellow or the brown wire. There's also the motion controller right here. I'm using a piece of paper to block it, otherwise it will go crazy. For the motion controller, the red goes into V+, the black wire goes into V-, because it's powering via 12 volt DC. Blue right here is the COM, label C. It goes to ground on the right hand side. The yellow goes into the AN2. I'm not sure what AN2 stands for, but basically when it senses motion, it's going to short the 2 pins, AN2 and ground, to release the Mac lock. There you go. So it senses motion, and now the Mac lock is unlocked for me to release the door. Here's a closer look at the receiver. You can see that there's 2 relays right there. And right now they're wired all together into the same Mac lock. So that's why I can press either button for it to release the Mac lock. It's kind of interesting to note that when you press the button, even though the receiver acknowledges instantly that the button was pressed, 3 seconds later, and only 3 seconds later, does the Mac lock releases. I don't know why you can't press the button and the Mac lock instantly releases. Weird. In order to control the access system, you have to install the software Titan. Download it from this website, unzip everything, and install the setup.exe file. Unfortunately, this software only works on Windows. So if you have a Mac, you have luck. Installing the software is relatively easy, so we're not going to go over that. Once you're done with installation, go ahead and launch the program. Checkbox, and then click on Finish. It will launch the software instantly. For whatever reason, the first time you launch it, it wants to restart your computer. So go ahead and restart the computer. When you launch it again, you'll see this intro screen. The username is administrator. The password is blank. You can change the password later. For now, just click on OK. Obviously, I highly recommend setting up a password once you're done with the setup. After a restart, go ahead and open it again. It's going to ask you for passwords. Just click on OK because there's no password at the moment. On your laptop or desktop, I highly recommend you changing your network settings. So go ahead and change it now. By default, the control panel is on a totally different IP set. So change your IP to match it accordingly. You're going to go down to the bottom right hand corner. I'm using a laptop, so that's why I'm using Wi-Fi at the moment. Right click on it and go into Open Network and Internet Settings. Go down to Change Adapter Options. Right click on your Wi-Fi and then go down to Properties. Choose the Internet Protocol for TCP IP. Change it to the following IP address. So your IP address will be 192.168.0.100. The subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. The default gateway is 192.168.0.1. Once you do this, your laptop will no longer have access to the internet, because right now we're specifically setting the laptop to talk to the control panel. If this is your first time opening Titan, you'll see this screen. Go ahead and click on Communication Setup. Click on Network Controller. It should automatically spot the control panel from Visionis. If you click on it, you'll see all of the information about this control panel. Here it gives you an opportunity to change your IP address settings. If you want this to be on your network, then now is the time to change the IP address. I don't want this thing on my network, so that's why I'm leaving it as default. Go ahead and click on Controller on the left hand side. I have mine added already, but if you don't have it added, it will be blank. So go ahead and right click on it. Go down to Add Controller or Search Controller. Once you're done searching, it should find your control panel. You can give it a name and be sure to choose the correct model number. This is extremely important. Mine is the ETL version 2, so that's why it's there. Let the software know how many doors you have, 2 or 4 doors. This is the 2-door model. This IP address, I'm giving mine a default, which is that. Then go over to the door. It should now list 2 doors for you to view. In the name, you can name whatever you want. I'm naming mine the front door and back door, but for now I'm just going to label it as strike and magnetic lock. Here you can change the door lock delay, so when it unlocks, how many time it passes before it resumes locking the door again. I don't know if the other settings matter or not, but I'm just going to leave it as is. Click on car to add all of your fobs. When you right click on it, it will give you a bunch of options. Click on controller add car for it to automatically detect all of your fobs. We only have one controller right now, it's the nail salon, so click on OK. Take your fob and place it near the fob reader, and it will start reading one by one. When you're done adding all of your fob, go ahead and click on the X button right there. Click OK. Make sure you label everything because it's going to matter later on. Click on employee on the left hand side. You'll see a bunch of employees that we already have. These are just test fobs that we're using. If you take a look at the car number, it will match what you saw in the previous car tab. Give it the proper name if you want. On the fob itself, it's already laser engraved with a number, so that's why in the name, I'm going to write the number down to match what it is in the fob. For whatever reason, the numbers on the fob does not match the car number that you're seeing right there. Click on the access group, allows this fob to work with which door. So you can see that administrator group will unlock any door in this building for the nail salon. For this fob though, the access group is only for the back door. When you're done, just click on the save. If you forget to click save, it will ask you if you want to save or not. Clicking on access group allows you to control the access group for the fobs. So administrator group, you can see that it can unlock everything. Yes for strike, yes for mag. When I click on front only, you can see that this group is only allowed to open the mag lock, which is installed at the front of the nail salon. The fob cannot open the back door, which is the strike. Now, if you bought the car reader that also has a pin pad, if you want to have a pin, this is the place to enter that pin code in, 4 to 6-digit code. When you're done with all of the programming, go ahead and go to the setup download, right click on it, and then start smart download. That's actually a terrible word to use, by the way, because in actuality, you're actually uploading this program to the controller board, not downloading. Alright, I had a lot of fun setting up this whole system. I can't wait to install it for the nail salon soon. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, and thanks for watching.